I'm shocked. This is so beautiful.
Alexis Sunshine 83, it's always sunny here.
Hey Sunshiners, Alexa Sunshine 83 here. I cannot contain my excitement. I am in New York City. Just look at that view. Absolutely gorgeous. While I'm visiting with my sister, I of course have to check out the thrifting slash secondhand shopping scene, which I know New York thrifting is not going to be the same as Southern California's suburban town thrifting. A lot of the places I'm planning on going to are more consignment shops, vintage stores, but I do have a few normal traditional thrift stores that I am hoping to include in this video. This is going to be a 2-day thrift with me. So today we are thrifting in Manhattan, and then tomorrow we're thrifting in Brooklyn. I will have all of the addresses in the description for precise locations, but I am just so curious to see what is being sold, what unique finds I can find, and just kind of open to whatever grabs my attention. So let's head to the first location. I had asked for NYC thrifting slash secondhand shop recommendations back in February, and so many people said Beacon's Closet. I ended up going to 2 in this video, but this Manhattan location was so overwhelming. I had every intention to talk during the thrifting portion of this video, but I just couldn't get the courage, and also with so many people going through the clothes, I just didn't want to hog an area, because many times I'd be looking at something on the rack and someone would reach over to see the clothes next to where I was looking at the clothes. So apologies that I will be doing a voiceover. Something I forgot to mention in the intro is I forgot my only jacket. I was supposed to wear it on the plane, but when I had to leave at 3 a.m. for the flight, I guess I just forgot it, and it was going to rain and drop in temperatures to 53 degrees during our trip. So as much as I did not need any black leather jackets, I did technically need it for this trip and didn't want to just buy something at like H&M. So that's where my main focus was unfortunately on in the beginning. This Beacons was not only jam-packed with people, but jam-packed with clothes, and unfortunately not organized by size, which was pretty common for the consignment and even some of the vintage stores I went to, which was frustrating to know if something was going to be your size or not. I did find this leather biker jacket that was cute, but I needed something that could work with all my planned outfits on this trip, and it was too short and a little bit too fitted. I did leave empty-handed, which was totally okay, because just down the street was a Crossroads. It wasn't as busy and was a little more spaced out, so it felt way more manageable to film and just shop. I first found this leather jacket and it totally fit the description of what I was needing, but I just wasn't sure if it was too broad in the shoulders where it looked like I was wearing my dad's jacket. So I put it back and figured by the end of the day, if I hadn't found any jacket, I could come back for this one. And if it was still there, then it was meant to be. I was so in love with this black velvet dress, but the chest seemed like it would fit someone else with a larger chest better just to fill it out. So I put it back. There were so many cute jackets, and even their like sale half off section was filled with amazing pieces. Pricing of this Crossroads was pretty comparable to Crossroads I've gone to in SoCal. I actually was even shocked by how average the cost, like not cheap thrift store prices or anything, but for New York City and having like good name brand pieces, it was surprisingly average pricing. I was so crushed none of the Doc Martens fit me. I was hoping to find like vintage 90s, maybe brown boots. For some reason, I don't know why I thought I'd find it in New York, but I was hopeful. I did try on a good amount here. First, this knit red top. I ended up only recording a 1-second clip, so I had to do a freeze frame so you can properly see it, but super lightweight for being knit, and I loved the darker red shade. I also was looking for low-rise flare jeans that were long enough, again, being hopeful for some reason, and these weren't the rise I was wanting and just didn't fit me. This vintage Forever 21, yes, vintage Forever 21, it had the old tag and everything, top was actually on the mannequin in front of the dressing room, and my jaw dropped. Like, show me a more iconic early 2000s top. You can't, because this is it. I had planned to try on this apple dress, but I didn't realize it was an extra small, so I ended up just putting it back. After Crossroads, we took a detour to the Chelsea market for like 4 hours, just enjoying and eating amazing gluten-free food. Like, shout out to New York City for having the best gluten-free food I've ever had in my life. But anyway, we finally made it to L Train, which was the most recommended place to shop at. And I totally get why. There was way more vintage specific pieces. Like, I didn't really come across any modern brands, whereas the 2 before had a mix of like leaning 90s and Y2K, but then also modern brands, whereas this had more grandma mix in it, if that makes sense, which shout out to grandmas, you have iconic style, but that's the best way I can describe it. Since this was going to be our last stop of the day, I was rushing to find any leather jacket that would work, and they had a really good amount. I ended up finding one, which ends up being what I wear in the next day of thrifting, but I guess I didn't show it while I was at L Train, but yes, I did find one. Thank goodness. There was a glorious denim overall section. I even ended up finding some Winnie the Pooh ones for only $15. I'd say this L Train had average prices to Crossroads, but did have some pricier items, like the leather jacket I ended up getting was $75. But I will be talking about that a little bit later on. I tried on a couple of pieces, but none of them I loved enough to buy, except for this brown button-up dress. It felt so 90s and felt so comfortable for summer. Overall, successful day 1 of thrifting. Day 2, we started at the Beacon's Closet in Greenpoint, which 100% was influenced by Kendall always showing this location in her Thrift With Me's, and also other people's closet in Williamsburg that we also ended up going to later on. But this Beacon's was a lot bigger than the other one and not as overwhelming. Still not categorized by size except for jeans, but it felt way less chaotic, and I felt like I could just properly go through everything, whereas the previous Beacons I was just rushing because of how overwhelmed I was, which is not on the Beacons, it's on me for being like easily overwhelmed. And yeah, it was still very busy though, like really busy. So again, I tried my best with filming, but oh my gosh, I wish I would have waited to get a leather jacket here. There were so many for like under $20 and just way more of what I was looking for versus the one I settled on buying, which is still cute, but I don't think I would have bought it if I didn't need it. So lesson learned. But okay, this velvet coat, so gorgeous, so amazing. It was just a little bit too fitted for my preference, so I left it. So many cute sweaters. I was really trying to focus on things I could wear back in SoCal, where the temperatures are like 75 to 80 degrees already. But if it had been fall, I would have snagged so many knits. I think I was in here for an hour and I definitely don't think I even saw everything, but I had so much in my hand. So I went to the dressing rooms. I promise I'm gonna shut up about the leather jacket, but I wanted to buy this one so bad. It would have been perfect. But again, I already got one the previous day, so it was a no. These jeans, as you can see, did not fit me. I was sad I wasn't able to bring my measuring tape because I was just scared it would be thrown out at the airport, because other times I've had to go through security for things and had my measuring tape in my bag, whether it was just the like string measuring tape or even the keychain measuring tape. I've been told it could be used as a weapon and been thrown out. So that made figuring out bottom fits very difficult. Even with them being the only thing categorized into a size, it still was very tricky to figure out if it was like actually going to fit me. So that's why I ended up trying on so much like bottoms that did not fit me. This dress fit me a little off. Like, it was gorgeous, but also like, where was I gonna wear it? I was very conflicted about this cardigan. It was 100% cotton, made in Peru. The fit was so comfortable. The colors were everything, but I just wish it didn't have the slight scoop neck. Like, if it had been more of a crew neck, it would have been an absolute yes. But for $49, I just didn't love it enough. I was so sad about this white top because so cute, but there was no size on it and it looked like it could maybe fit me. But once I actually tried it on, the shoulders were just too wide for me, sadly. There was so much vintage Disney in New York. This one, I think it was only like $19. It did have a couple of stains. It was nothing that big, but I really wanted to try and be somewhat picky, especially since I had already gotten stuff the previous day. So I ended up leaving empty-handed. I then walked over to Awoke Vintage. I have wanted to visit one of their stores for so long. I always see the cute stuff they have on their Instagram, and I was able to go to 2 of their locations and just such a gorgeous array of vintage pieces. Obviously, Awoke is a vintage store, so things were priced accordingly, and I was so obsessed with so many of their pieces. I've already posted a photo on Instagram of this top, and so many people were commenting, please say you bought it. And alas, I am here to crush dreams because I did not. I felt like I didn't have the necessary attitude to rock it. Like, yes, so cute and so true, honestly, but I knew it would be a gem to someone else, so I left it. I was hoping to find the low-rise flare jeans that were long enough of my dreams during this trip. More delusional hope, but the Awoke Vintage employee did try to help me find some, since they sell a lot of vintage denim there, but it's mainly straight leg / boot cut silhouettes. However, I did try on 2 pairs and so cute, but just not the fit I was looking for, and also just like did not fit me in general. I was really sad that this dress ended up being too fitted. Like, it looks good, but I just would have wanted it to be more flowy. I was shocked how much I loved this fairy top. It's originally from the Mountain, which I'm sure I could find something similar for cheaper at like the Rose Bowl Flea, but I just loved the color and the fit, so I did end up buying this. A couple doors down was Tired Vintage, and I didn't realize one of you had recommended to check it out. I was just walking to meet my sister at another vintage store down the street, and I was just in love with the pieces they had outside, and that's like what caught my attention to then go inside. The store was a Y2k dream. It was a smaller store and there was only one other customer in there, so I didn't get too much footage, but I loved almost everything they were selling. I tried on this paisley top and just everything about it I loved. Then some vintage Route 66 shorts that ended up not fitting me, and some flares that had the fit I wanted, but not my size. After meeting back up with my sister, we grabbed lunch and then checked out the other Awoke location, and this one was a tiny bit bigger and a lot busier. So many vintage gems again. I ended up only trying on this denim skirt, which in the try on, it looks like it fits weird, but it's just because of my tights, okay? I promise it fit me so well, to the point that I did end up buying it. The last place included in this shopping portion is other people's closet, another location Kendall has gone to in her videos, and it was massive. It also had carts, which I didn't expect any of the places we had gone to have carts, but they had them here, and surprisingly, no one else was using them. So I may have shown to all of the cool kids that I was not one of them, but I don't care because using a cart is the best thing ever. Again, nothing was size, and I kept finding a lot of size larges, but overall it had a great selection, a lot of gorgeous cardigans and knits, and I was feeling really regretful for not buying that one from Beacons, the cardigan. So I was kind of hoping I'd find an even better one here, and spoiler alert, I did. There was just so many cute pieces at other people's closets, so many different like styles, and I truly could have spent so many more hours there. I think I did spend like an hour there. The shoe selection, nothing in my size sadly, but just such a perfect way to kind of end off this thrifting portion that I'm including. Technically, I did go to one more place, which I will be sharing in a sec during the haul, but yeah, so much fun. And like I mentioned, there were so many more places I could have gone to, so fingers crossed I can come back. I am so excited to finally be filming this haul because I've been back from New York for about a week, but I had to wait for all this stuff to come in the mail, which took a week because delusional, stupid me thought I could fit everything I was going to thrift and also everything I needed for New York in a carry-on. Absolutely not, never again. It was so much more expensive to ship everything back versus just taking a checked-in bag. So yeah, fun lesson to have learned. But anyway, everything finally arrived yesterday, and opening up the box made me just like fall even more in love with these pieces, and like so happy past me had thrifted them. And let's just get right into it with these first two things that I got at the Crossroads. Obviously a lot of them you saw me like trying on, but I'm going to properly like be able to style all of them. And this little knit, I was just so surprised how much I loved it, and the fact that it wasn't itchy as well. There is no tag on it, no brand, no material, so I have no idea. It doesn't feel like obviously polyester or anything. It feels like a knit, but not cotton, but not wool. It could definitely be some sort of blend, even maybe like a blend with acrylic based on just the way that it looks and kind of feels. But it was $19.06, and I just loved the like higher neck, and this color is one of my favorite colors. I'm definitely in a purple kind of
coloring obsession right now, but this, I love this shade and I would love to continue to thrift more because it's just so gorgeous. It's definitely going to shine during fall time though, just with different layering, and even the way that it fits me is so glorious and just makes me feel so good. A lot of the, you know, thrift stores, secondhand shops that I went to, like I mentioned, were consignment, vintage. I did go to, you know, a proper thrift store, but even that one had a dress, like everything had dressing rooms, which was just such a luxury I have missed because all of my thrift stores don't have dressing rooms anymore. And my Crossroads and Buffalo Exchange, they have dressing rooms still, but there aren't that many kind of around me, so I don't really go to them super often, so I don't get to enjoy dressing rooms. And it just made all of the difference, especially because I didn't want to go overboard. You know, I still wanted to be, like I mentioned, picky and intentional, but also have fun and thrift things in New York. You know, it's still about the experience, and especially with so many different people selling stuff at a lot of the consignment stores, also, you know, the vintage stores where they're sourcing, and then the thrift stores, you know, people that are donating. It was just such an interesting array of different styles and brands especially. So I did also want to be open, and I think I did a really good job in keeping all of that in mind, which the next one, you saw my face when I tried this on. I'm shocked. This is so beautiful. I have no words. This is a piece I'm keeping forever. Absolutely. Even if, you know, say my style changes in the next 10 to 20 years, this is a piece that you keep forever. Like I said, it is Forever 21, but it's when they just put the 21. So it is vintage. It was only $23.18. This fits me so well. I love the little like sequins. I don't really own anything that has sequins. I just find that I don't really gravitate towards a lot of the pieces I find at the thrift store, and a lot of times they are damaged. I mean, it could be really easy to, you know, do the thread, but I know I don't wear it super often that it would make sense to put in that work for it. And a lot of times, like, the whole top is sequins. But I love sparkles. I love shiny stuff. I love glitter. And I feel this is the perfect top of combining my love for like glitter, shiny sequins, but in such a wearable way and such a like me way. I will say this is the highlight like of my New York trip, of finding this. If I hadn't found anything else and just this, I would have been totally happy. I completely forgot that I also got 2 accessories from that Crossroads. First, the purple bag. I mean, the floral detail of this is so gorgeous. It was $25.75. It's originally by Patricia Nash, which I did thrift something that was Patricia Nash a couple of months ago, and I had never heard of that brand, and so many people commented that it was a very expensive brand, so it was actually like quite a find. This really reminded my sister of a Dooney and Burke bag, but just with like a little bit of like, I love Dooney and Burke vintage bags. They're so gorgeous, but I find that they can feel a little bit too proper, a little bit too chic, and kind of that just like classic style, which I wouldn't really say is me. Whereas this, I think I can kind of style in a like whimsy goth way with like a dark top and like velvet skirt. Like, I'm envisioning it. It actually was filled with the original owner's receipts and like Target receipts. There was also like a UPS shipping label in here. There was like a massage coupon in here. So I got to, you know, get to know the original owner of it. And then this hat, I am a little conflicted by. Here's the thing. When it comes to summertime, and I mean, I'm sure for a lot, that's the whole reason like hats during summertime, because of how intense the sun can be on your scalp. And I have such a sensitive scalp, and every year it gets burned. And so I have a denim bucket hat that I got off of ThredUp, I think 2 years ago, and that has been my savior during summertime. But I've really been wanting some sort of like straw bucket hat, some just like straw cute hat that I could wear either at the beach or at the pool. This is giving Mary Had a Little Lamb. Like, Yeah, it very much is, but I saw the vision and I just loved all of the knitting detail. I kind of want to wear it as a like bucket hat in that I pull the front up. I have to get a little used to it. I didn't try it on at Crossroads because I just wanted to give it a little bit of a wipe before putting it on my head because I've had lice before and I really would like to not have that. It was $15.45. I wanted to show this top next, originally from Tired Thrift. It is by the brand Shameless, and it's kind of this like stretchy 90s polyester. Again, I say all the time, 90s polyester just feels so different than modern polyester, and it feels breathable. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, not all the time 90s polyester feels breathable, but this one specifically it does. It's just the cutest fit and so me. I'm just in love with all the different colors and this kind of paisley pattern. It was $45, and this particular vintage store, definitely that was kind of the pricing, but it was so curated to the early 2000s. Like even the Bratz dolls, I think there was even a Britney Spears doll that they had for decoration. I wish I would have taken more video and photo of the store because it just gave so much inspiration. When I bought this fairy tank top from Awoke Vintage, I felt so silly for some reason because I knew like these tops are somewhat like readily available at the Rose Bowl flea market, and I would even say at the thrift store, but the fit of this, like I usually don't come across the mountain tank tops. The t-shirts, yes, my favorite cat tie-dye t-shirt is from the mountain, and gosh, back in 2018 I had thrifted so many and I love them still. I think they're so fun, so funky, and you can get them all secondhand, but I haven't seen them in a tank top, and this particular graphic I just felt goes with my style so well. Like again, everything I thrifted I think is so perfectly aligned with where my style is, where I want it to go, and I'm so happy that I did decide to get it because I went back and forth. I was like, oh, I don't know, like it's $35. Should I just wait until I'm back in California, go to the Rose Bowl, see? But with the fit, with the pattern, with it being purple, I have talked about my love for purple, and specifically this tie-dye purple just feels again so in line with a lot of the pieces that I already own. Like it's gonna go with everything, and also it's a tank top, like it's gonna be so easy for this summer. One of the things I was hoping to find during this trip was a mini denim skirt, not a micro mini, a mini denim skirt that was cuffed. It's not really a mini, I would almost say it's like, it's not knee length either, but I own like a shorter denim skirt, but it is distressed on the bottom, and I just want something that's cuffed and kind of has like a clean line. I think it just will execute the look that I'm wanting to go for. I did find a couple, but I was being like extra picky with this because I don't need a bunch of mini denim skirts. I really kind of just need one, so I want it to be the perfect one, and I did end up finding that at Awoke Vintage. It was $55, but in trying so many denim skirts, even like back here, like before, like for the past couple of months, I've been trying to find a mini denim skirt, and everyone that I tried on, either I didn't like the denim feel, like it was actually a cheaper denim, or the length wasn't right, especially in the back, because I wanted a shorter one, but again, not a micro mini. And if it is gonna show my butt, like there's a limit to how short and like exposed, and I feel like this one has such a perfect fit for me. I'm so happy I bought it, especially being able to like try it on properly as well to like verify that it checked every single box. It's originally from Hydraulic. It has a paper tag. It's 100% cotton. I love the little red details as well. I didn't really see that. I think in most cases I'm gonna wear something that's a little bit longer, so you won't really see any of the red details, but I do appreciate them. My sister did make fun of me when I told her I was looking for a denim mini skirt, specifically a low to mid-rise denim mini skirt, because she's 5 years older than me, so a lot of the pieces that I've been getting inspired by 90s and early 2000s style, she wore. Like, I mean, I dabbled, I guess, but I was still quite young in a lot of the time where a lot of these pieces were very trendy. And so she was like, this is giving me elementary school. Like, you're literally dressing how I dress in elementary school. So, I mean, she was the original icon. Next, for the two pieces that I got from L Train, I'll start with the leather jacket because technically you haven't fully seen it. You saw it in me wearing it in the second day of secondhand shopping. Originally from Jill Brett. It was $75, the most expensive thing that I got. Like I mentioned in the thrifting portion, I needed a leather jacket because I forgot mine, even though I ended up putting all of my outfits together in Index and my leather jacket was with every single one, even my airport outfit I was planning, and I still forgot it. I don't need a black leather jacket, especially this particular one. Like, there are different styles of black leather jackets I have on my thrift wish list, and this was not the one. But again, I was just dealing with my forgetfulness of bringing something very crucial to the trip, and I'm happy I was able to get it secondhand versus, again, you know, a fast fashion brand, especially because this is quite a high quality jacket. It has these really cool like red stitching all around it. It has so many pockets and like zippers even on the side of the arm, and I know somebody else will love it that doesn't own as many black leather jackets, but I wanted to include it because I did get it during this trip under circumstances that I am still quite frustrated about of myself. Something I am not upset about having to get or deciding to get is this floral dress. L Train, I could have gotten so many beautiful vintage dresses. Like, there were so many cool ones. This just felt the most wearable because there were a lot of cute vintage floral dresses that were like a midi length that just felt a little bit too dressed up for me to wear every day. And there's a time and a place for those, but like, I've already thrifted some before. I don't need more that aren't gonna be, you know, super wearable. Whereas this, I can wear all the time this summer. It is so lightweight. It's originally from Marion and Merrill. It was $15, and the pearl buttons are so pretty, and it has all of them. Like, there's no button missing as well. I'm pretty sure that I have been looking for a cardigan with a collar for like 2 years. I stopped even like mentioning it in like thrift wish list videos or things I'm like loving trend wise because it was just taking me so long to find it, specifically checking every single box that I wanted with a cardigan with a collar. And I thought it was really gonna be something that I never find, but believe in yourself. That is the moral of the story, because 2 years later, I found a cardigan with a collar. It only took me going to a different state to finally find it. It was originally from the brand Wind River. It is 100% acrylic, and it was $24.98. It is just everything I have been looking for in a collared cardigan. Just the fit of it. The buttons are almost like this opal as well, which I feel is so unique. The buttons are also quite big, so they give a really interesting detail and structure to the cardigan. I find a lot of cardigan buttons are quite small, so with this having that, it's like a little cherry on top, which this brings us to the last thing that I got in New York. And like I mentioned, I went to one other vintage store, which was Berriez. I ended up not like filming really that much of it. I got like a couple of clips. Berriez is a vintage shop that is based in Brooklyn. They have their studio where they do appointment shopping experiences, and then also on the weekends I believe they are open to the public, and they do a lot of closet sales for different influencers, and they focus on size larges to I think 5X. They have a beautiful curation of vintage pieces in plus sizes. They also sell a bunch of new pieces from specifically small designers, some of them that are fully plus size focused, others that offer plus sizes with their small business. And it was the first time myself or my sister have ever done a personal shopping experience. Like I said, during the week it is by appointment for their personal shopping experiences. When you book a time, it sends you a whole thing to fill out what your style is, what you're into, what you're looking for, and based on those answers, when you go to your appointment, they'll already have a rack filled with what they think that you would like based, again, on those answers. My sister found so much, like, oh my goodness, if you could see her haul. Highly recommend to check out Shop Berriez if you live in New York and doing their personal shopping experience, especially being in those sizes. They did have a small section of size small and medium clothing. Again, they do focus on plus sizes, but they did have a little section that I ended up finding something from this gorgeous checkered, I guess almost like a vest, 100% silk. The quality, I know I already mentioned it, but literally I can't help but just scream praise to Shop Berriez because, again, experience was amazing and then the pieces were amazing. And this was only $45 for 100% silk, beautiful, gorgeous quality. Like, so happy, so happy. Originally from Ann Taylor. Also the buttons I love, very similar to the cardigan, the way that they structure the top and the fit of it. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, okay. That was everything that I got during my New York trip. I just had such a blast. All of these pieces now have such a fond memory. Let me know in the comments down below if there were any thrift stores I should have gone to in New York. I would have loved to even go outside of like New York City and more of like the suburbs to check out those thrift stores. Again, hopefully next time, but let me know any places you think I should hit up. I think the next place I want to travel to for specifically thrifting is maybe like a small town in like the Midwest. Let me know, anyone that lives in a small town that thinks you have really good thrift stores, let me know in the comments down below what town or state or town in what state I should go to next, because I know you all have insane thrift stores in the Midwest, but also like the South and I guess other states as well. All right though, thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to see my face again, then make sure to subscribe right down below. Also follow me on Instagram, which is AwokeSunshine83, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.